Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a little bit of a sort of scary situation here for Bachelor Nation alum Ryan Neal, also possibly second or third cousin of mine. Shout out to the Neals. Bachelor alumni Ryan Neal sent to the ER. I'm going to share you guys this whole story. Just another example why we need to really just praise and thank first responders out there. After seeing Damar Hamlin collapse with a cardiac arrest this past Monday night, just 8 days ago, and seeing 9 minutes of life-saving CPR applied to him, just shout out to all of our first responders, especially in our audience. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram, not a first responder here, just a power recapper at DNeals. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes bonus content. If you want to catch us vibing to a lot of the music from Bachelor alum Ryan Neal, you can check that on the Patreon. The Patreon, I'm able to share a licensed content in ways I can't publicly because the Patreon doesn't take monetization from the YouTube app, so I'm able to have a little bit more freedom with the kind of jams I can play over there. So if you want to be a part of that community, patreon.com/Dave Neal. And this afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour and by the way, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more insight into my thoughts on the Chris Harrison podcast. Yesterday's episode was so long, and by the way, first time you guys broke us. Do we have the breaking news? That's not it. First time you guys broke us into the 3,000 download in 1 day mark on the podcast. So thank you guys all so much. 3,000 of you listened to an hour-long sort of recap of the Chris Harrison podcast yesterday on Bachelor Rush Hour. Appreciate that so much. And finally, I have a free show tonight in Santa Clarita. Weather, hopefully the weather's fine. It's supposed to stop raining early afternoon, but I'm headlining the Pocock Brewing Company. I've done this show a bunch of times. The beers are great. And their food's also really great. They have pizzas and giant pretzels and all that. We always have a couple Bachelor friends who come out to the show. So thanks in advance for all those that are coming out and laugh with us tonight. All right, and this is no laughing matter. Ryan Neal, one of my favorites, from Listen to Your Heart, which was before I share with you what he said, let's just watch a clip of Listen to Your Heart. I can only play several seconds of this because I don't want to get it taken down. But if you didn't watch this show, essentially it was kind of like a mix between a singing competition and Bachelor in Paradise, in the sense that you had about a dozen plus people got together as musicians and then had to see who they kind of fell in line with romantically. Now, I don't think Natasha and Ryan ever were seriously connected, but I think they vibed with each other's creativity and created some great music together. Have a quick listen.
Performing Stay by Rihanna. Natasha and Ryan.
So there's Chris Harrison, of course. And then as judges, we have JoJo there with her husband, Packers quarterback brother, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is, what's the Rodgers? Whatever. Kevin Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Rodgers. That's it. And of course, some other musicians. I think Kesha's there. But I want to jump to where they really got it grooving because I can't play this all for you to the one. And by the way, I played this whole clip, I believe, on the Patreon if you want to go check it out there. But this is where they just sang and, they combined romance with something that a lot of Bachelor alumni don't have, which is talent. But let's be honest, a lot of Bachelor people are just random people. A lot of them, not all of them. The cream rises to the top. But here we've got just boatloads of musical ability. Wow. And around it goes. Okay, so that's that. Let's get into the story. So here we have Ryan Neal. He posted this update 3 days ago and has since gone to the emergency room since then. There will be some blood in some of the photos. So here's your trigger warning, blood. I guess you need a trigger warning for blood. We all have it. Ryan Neal said this: surgery went well. Shout out to Dr. Selmer, another Michigan native, and staff at the Murfreesboro Medical Clinic for being top-notch and easing on my worries. Pain is about a 9 at the moment. Can't wait to eat pizza and sing again, though. Not currently on any fun pain meds yet, but the anesthesia is still kicking. That sounds like someone's could name their daughter that. Hey, Jill and Anastasia, please come in here. Anastasia is still kicking, and I had a dream about Angelina Jolie while under. What more could you ask for? Love y'all. So the drugs were at least good enough to make him dream about Angelina Jolie. Hopefully it's Tomb Raider Angelina Jolie. I feel like any millennial out there definitely grew up with fantasies of Tomb Raider. Nothing says sexy like short shorts and raiding tombs. So here he is, Sherry, and then of course there's Angelina Jolie. All right, so he posts that. And then here's the update, which is pretty scary from yesterday. I'm going to read his update. And then there's another update. So, of course, there he is, blood on the pillow. He said, "You want something real? Here you go. I almost didn't make it last night and feel incredibly blessed to still be alive today. Here I was thinking that since my wounds were healing," and of course, by the way, tonsillectomy is, he had the removal of his tonsils, in case we're wondering. That was the initial thing. So maybe he had some sort of, infection or something. Let's hear. "Here I was thinking that since my wounds were healing, I could lay back and find something thrilling to watch in bed. Little did I know I'd be staring in my own mini thriller a few moments later. Around 2:30 a.m., I began spitting up a lot of blood and immediately called 911. I could barely answer the operator's questions due to my condition. Throwing up a blood clot was one of the gnarliest things ever. I'm sorry if this is too much info, but this is real life, not an Instagram smoke screen." And again, I always think these posts are good because healthcare is so bad in our country that we need to normalize the conversations over our own health, and that way we can sort of be alert when something happens. "Oh, I've got a lump here. What does that mean? Oh, I feel like this." Oh, we have to be, when it comes to first responders, we have to be so critical in how we see if someone's having a stroke or might have an issue. You got to get on that right away. As the ambulance arrived, I was shaking, pale, and could barely communicate. Luckily, the hospital was only 5 minutes away, and they proceeded to bring me into the operating room, stabilize me, and perform emergency surgery. Well, maybe that's the emergency room. Either way, if it's an emergency surgery, I'm counting it as an ER. I'm not changing my thumbnail. Where they pumped the blood from my stomach and cauterized my right tonsil wound. I faintly heard the term fentanyl being thrown around, and in days I feverishly text her, "I'm not trying to go out like MJ." The nurse laughed and reminded me that it was propofol that did him in, but anyways, not a drug I'd ever think would touch my system, but there I was, in its grips for a couple hours. I was out like a light, and next thing you know, I'm back in bed where it all began. Shout out to the incredible staff of nurses and doctors at the Tri-State Centennial Women's Children's Hospital in Nashville for getting me in and being the champions you are in times of crisis. I was helpless. I can only use the text-to-speech app for now due to the pain, so I would type "brain surgery was way easier than this" in the most robotic voice possible to the nurses and doctors. They all laughed. All in all, just a reminder to appreciate this gift of life we have, because you never know what's around the bend. This was the scariest moment of my life, and I'm glad to be on the other side sharing my experience with you. Not gonna lie, the entire time I had Through the Wire going through my head, and although I'm always looking for new inspiration, I'd rather it come in subtler forms than this. However, I am about to have an Ensure for dessert and probably sip the scissorp. Much love. And of course, he received tons of love from all of his Listen to Your Heart alumni, including others. So we are sending our friend over here, and there's the blood. We gave you a trigger warning here, folks. We gave it to you. There's the blood he was spitting there. And, he was well enough to get a nice foot selfie there in the ambulance. Of course, I'm sure everyone's sickness and emergency illness is different. He was clearly very conscious and knew he had a problem there, but good to see that he was receiving quick medical care. Now, here's his update from today. He offered an update today. Let's go to it. Hold on. We're waiting for there it is. And of course, it's in size 1 font. Thank you. This was the most challenging 24 hours of my life. Not the saddest, because when others are involved, hurting, that's always worse. I've always been cool with dying as long as it's just me. I know I'm weird, but damn, I'm humbled. Sure, the pain is one thing, but playing back all the mental stuff in my mind constantly is really new for me. As always, could have been way worse and unending. I don't know what to say. If I had the energy to go through and respond to all your messages, I would. 2 surgeries in 3 days and tons of narcotics and general anesthesia. I don't know which way is up or down at the moment. I'm just very weak and can only muster a light tap to heart your message. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just I wasn't prepared for this outpouring on my weakest day as a human being. I'm filled with intense gratitude that I genuinely haven't experienced. I'm going to feel what I felt those 5 to 6 hours of uncertainty and utter terror for probably quite some time. I still can't get that taste, stale warm blood out of my mouth and psyche. It's really messing with me. All I can think is, don't be a bitch, don't be a bitch, don't be a bitch, because that's how I developed in my friend circle, I got to tell you, though, this morning I felt like the ultimate bitch. I helplessly at the mercy of complete stranger medical professionals. This is for y'all. By the way, I'm sure he's doped up as he wrote this. I don't know what else I can do for you, but say thank you, and I hope someday I can make you feel half as special as you did for me today. I can't wait to sing my ass off without these blood demons in the back of my throat. I'll never take that feeling for granted as long as I'm here. Down but not out. Keep going. And of course, here's Ryan Neal with just a few clips from him playing on his social media. Let's share some love with him.
soon. I was nose bleeding, looking for life out there, reading your horoscope.
So, a couple more here. Oh.
I wanna dance with somebody.
Let's all sing it together.
I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Whoa, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat. Yeah, I wanna dance with somebody. Yeah. With somebody who loves me.
All right. Well, our best wishes to you, Ryan Neal, on a safe recovery. Hopefully you can find the love from our video when you're feeling a little bit better. No need to text us back. Just take care of yourself. That's been your update on Listen to Your Heart, Bad Boy, fan favorite Ryan Neal. Boy, do I wish this show would come back. Hey, I don't know if Ryan's single or not, but let's get him on Bachelorette. Let's just get him on at least either as a contestant or as a musical guest. Get him, whatever. Get it, let's support our own. All right, folks, that's it from me. More content coming your way after this.